Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start off with a very simple question. I wanted to know how many of us here really, noticed a homeless animal while coming in this morning. Right. There are 62 million, as per the last census, dogs in the streets of India, and cats even more so. So many that we don't even have a census. Right? So they're all over. If you actually look, there, when you go about your daily tasks, there are enough and more animals on the streets. The real question is, how many of us care to notice a homeless animal? Yeah, that is just to show the number of animals. Life of a stray. In a nutshell, that is a movie that I made with a team of professional people a few years ago to depict the typical lives of a street animal. This is what they go through on a regular day, every day, everywhere. So it does not just stop with us not noticing them or them being neglected. They also go through a lot of abuse, a lot of violence, and that's why they need help. My name is Taronish Bulsara. I have been an animal rescuer ever since I was about 7 years old. While growing up, I was, quite different than the other children around me. We all have our quirks. I would find it difficult learning and studying, but that apart, I would not much enjoy the general games, the general sport. For instance, while my friends, my mates were, say, playing football, I would be at the side of the football ground, spending time with Lali and Sonu and enjoying their company, and my other so many four-legged friends. I enjoy the company of animals. There's so much you can learn from them. There is a phrase which is very apt that they say, the more time you spend with animals, the less you appreciate the human race, on a lighter note. But people who connect with animals know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, when I was young and much younger, and in school, I came back from school one day, and as every other day, I was very excited to go out and play. And so I got out and I started looking for my friends, but I couldn't find Lali and Snowy. I couldn't find my best friends. I looked high and low, looked up and down, and then I was told that they were picked up. Back then, animals were taken in for culling. They would take animals off the streets for culling. As a young child, I couldn't understand that too well. I didn't know what exactly was happening, but what I did know is I need to do something to protect animals like Snowy and like Lali. So it was in the year 1999 actually only when the culling stopped and they came up with the ABC program in India, Animal Birth Control Program. That is the only ethical way of reducing the population, where the animals are picked up, taken in, sterilized, vaccinated against anti-rabies and released on the spot again. So even when I was 10, 12, as a young boy, I used to help out, volunteer because I was like a pipe piper. All the dogs would come following me and would be fond of me. So I would help put them in the van, make sure they're taken safely and drop back to their territories safely after sterilization. And yeah, so that in a nutshell didn't change much, as in not much has changed over these years. This is 22, 25 years later, I'm standing here, still rescue animals from the jaws of death, still care for them in critical needs, and still shelter them till they find forever homes. It comes to me as a natural calling. Along with my lovely team of volunteers and help, I've been able to take care of, over the last decade, uplifted the lives of at least 3 lakh plus animals and still counting. So it has been a long run and so much more to do. I believe that, I look at it as it should be a world for all. That's the way of life that should be amongst all of us. My philosophy is to coexist, and that's a philosophy I think it's important that to rub on to everyone I meet and everywhere I go. A little bit of compassion can take us all a long, long way. I understand that everyone does not necessarily have to be an ardent animal lover the way I am, and everyone doesn't have the same compassion for the same things and the same calling. Fair enough, I get that. But as humans, as the superior species, it is our basic duty to protect needy animals, to protect the young and the ones that are the fauna and flora around us. So moving on from there, it was just, change is impeccable. It was a few years ago that I told you these things happen every day, everywhere. And just 10-15 minutes down the road at the local mall, 2-3 years ago, the responsible rescuers, feeders of Powai brought in a dog to one of our care facilities, because they brought her in because she was crying, because she was bleeding, and she was clearly in pain. On arrival, our vets were shocked to see that she had been hurt by men with an 8-inch rod. It took a whole team of vets that came, thankfully, from all across different private practices in the city. They came together and they worked on saving her life. Her name was Noori. We managed to save her. But there are thousands and thousands of such animals that go through this every day. In public places, at the bus stops, at the stations, at temples. All we need to do is to be a little more compassionate. It will take us a long way. Sometimes small moves we make can make a remarkable difference in the lives, especially of the underprivileged sectors. So I appeal to all of you all that moving on, to be more, to notice and to care to notice the homeless animals around us and make the change for them. Thank you.